Yeah, good idea. Okay, I'm recording now. So for anyone that's watching this playback, we're talking about social media. Um, so I am involved with some networking groups here locally, and one of them, she's one of the top earners in another field, and she gave me her Facebook post schedule. And so she recommended posting 4 times a day. I think that's a lot to ask. But she got to a point too where she was using automated systems to do it. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's just say we're starting from scratch because everyone that's seeing this is pretty new to this business. And what you're doing through Facebook, through that platform, is you're creating intrigue. You are wanting to just you're wanting to put yourself out there in a way that most people aren't today. Most people, when they do, they're complaining or they're talking negative. And if you are active in this business and you're active in personally developing yourself and reading books or watching webinars or listening to things on a daily basis, you're giving yourself information that you can put on Facebook. Whether it's a quote that stands out to you. It was interesting to me because when you're in a community like LifeVantage, you get to a point where you're so surrounded by amazing and uplifting and positive people that you just kind of suddenly think that everybody else knows what you know. Like you're the latecomer and everyone else knows the same thing. And that is so not the case. I had joined a networking group for a while, very professional people. Some of them had never heard the term dig your well before you're thirsty. Some had never heard you are the combined average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. They'd never heard those things. And I was like, what? Like, I hear that all the time. Like, that's all we talk about. So if something resonates with you and it's new to you or it's powerful and it speaks to you, then I have so many notes in my phone. I just go to the notes section of my phone and I'll write down quotes. I'll write down an idea for a post. And then, or sometimes if I'm scrolling through and let's say I see Liddell's post about her story, I'll copy it and then I'll paste it to my notes. And then I'll put my little 2 cents in the beginning of it and the end of it and post it on my page. One thing you never want to do, and just start with posting once a day. If you can just post once a day, that's awesome because you want to be consistent with posting so that you're visual to people. I don't know the algorithms of Facebook right now. That word's always thrown around. I don't know what they're doing with Facebook, but you want the people that are in your circle to constantly see what you're doing and you want to intrigue them through. You don't want it to always be about a story. You don't want it to always be about business. You want to cycle through like family and health and hobbies, maybe food, you know, if you like eating, which we all like eating, right? And then a story every once in a while. I try to post a story at least once a week. And I'll just say this incredible story that came in. If you've not posted your own yet, start with your own story like Liddell did. Nothing is more powerful than your own testimony. It just speaks to people. And what they're going to do is, I think this happened to Liddell. Someone said, asked, what are the products? Because you're going to have those people that are like, okay, what, you know, they know the game. And that's when you take the conversation offline and you take it to Facebook Messenger. And like I told Liddell, when that happens to me, and I have people reach out to me, I don't automatically tell them what it is, and I don't automatically just send them the ABC report. I start conversation. I want to know, why did they ask? What's going on in their life that made them ask it? And just be interested in them instead of being interesting, right? And just start, and because when you know why they asked and what is going on in their life, you're going to know how to properly direct them. So whether that means you say, okay, this is important. Because you're dealing with arthritis, I have to send you this ABC report. But while you watch this, I'm going to add you to this customer page and I'm going to tag you on some arthritis stories so you can see other stories about how this is working in other people's lives as well. You just want to fill them with information that shows them this can work for them as well. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you could even, when you post a story, like you want to keep LifeVantage out of the equation. You don't want to post the company name. Even if like one time I posted a picture of my husband and I at an event, and I even just made sure that you couldn't see LifeVantage on the tag. And it's simply because if someone's intrigued, I don't want them to go do all their own research and me not have a part of that in telling them how incredible this really is. And that's why for Liddell too, I didn't have her put Vitality Stack, because people could possibly Google that. I don't know what they'd find. I've not done it, but they could find LifeVantage in our Vitality Stack because it is a label of a stack we have. So I told her to put the core 4. Because I heard that at a training last month. I thought that was genius. It really is the core 4 of your body. So I would say that for sure. Start with your own story. Yes.
You're saying the core 4, use that language instead of the Vitality Stack.
Can you talk louder, hon? I didn't hear you.
You're saying instead of saying the Vitality Stack, use the language, the core 4.
Yes. Yep. If you're doing it on social media, yes. And people have used the little yellow pill, or they've done activating my body. I think those are good too. But again, I think the core 4 are just a great way to open that conversation about the Vitality Stack instead of just Protandim. So
I actually Googled little yellow pill and it takes you right to Protandim.
It's because it gets used
It's
so
so
much.
used.
yeah, see? So just use core 4.
Yeah, start our own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that way it makes them want to know what the 4 are, not just the one pill.
Right. Yep. Because you do. I mean, we're all building a business here too, residual income. And so the higher the subscription order is, the more beneficial it is for us as well as we grow our business. The other thing you can do, I don't know if you guys even know, simply to, if someone, let me see. I'm going to go to Liddell's page quick. I'm putting you on the spot. Okay, so she's got a quote on her page. And if I just click on that, it brings up the picture. So if I hold that picture down, see, it gives me an option to save the photo. So I can save that photo then, and then create my own post on my page. Don't share. Never, never, ever share a post because it doesn't bring as much value. It only gives that person who you shared it from more of the attention. So copy it and then make it your own. That brings much more value. I have some people that I follow pretty regularly, people that I consider mentors, and some are not in LifeVantage, but spiritual mentors, things like that. And I'll copy and paste theirs, and then I'll make a note of what I'd like to put with it. And then at the top of the note, I'll remind myself what picture it is that I saved in my photos. And I'll save it for a day that I can't think of anything else, and that's what I want to put out there. So it's kind of, that's why I said if you can just designate 30 minutes on a Sunday night to kind of write out what you want to do for the week, maybe. So what she said on this post, or on this schedule, she said every morning start with an inspirational post, and then later in the day do a personal post or a business post or a story. So if you could do it twice a day, awesome. If you're doing it once a day, then try to do, an inspirational post, maybe a couple days, maybe do a personal post. And here's the thing, people love to see you. And that is the most uncomfortable thing. I hate selfies. Hate them. Yes, right? Do not like them. I'll post pictures of my kids and my husband all day long, and he doesn't like it either, but it's, what, buddy, I need to put something out there. So, but if you can take pictures of yourself, even being silly or funny or just whatever it is, people love that. And they love authenticity. They don't want to always see that life is perfect. They love stories. They love lives. Lives go a long, long way. If you learned an important lesson and it's just been on your heart, A live doesn't have to be a 20-minute segment. It can be a minute of just something you wanted to put out there. I have a friend that just the other day did a live that was 2 minutes long, and she's like, she's been through some adversity in her life in the last few months, and she's like, someone said 6 words to me, and I just feel like maybe today someone else might need to hear them. And she said, I just want you to know it's okay to not be okay. And that was her topic, and it was so beautiful and so perfect and really short, but had a lot of value to it. So just never discount what's on your heart, because if it's on your heart and it's important to you, I promise you it's going to be important to somebody else too. It's going to speak to somebody. And it does. And do not, please do not attach your worth or your value or the rate at which it's working on Facebook to the likes and the loves and the comments. Don't do it. Because I'm telling you, everyone, like I said, I'd say 90% of the people that have reached out to me in the last 4 months that have started the business in some way, they were not people that I saw active on my feed. They were just people that they were watching, and people are watching. I mean, how often do you just get stuck on Facebook and you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, right? And also too, if it becomes overwhelming, shut it off. Like don't become prisoner to it. Just know that this is a tool, and it's a really beautiful tool. And someone said the most beautiful thing. She said, let your page be a place that when people go to, it just feels good. Because people need that, right? Just be that. And if you're somebody, like I said, that hasn't posted a lot in the past and now suddenly you're posting more, people are going to notice. They're going to want to know what is going on. Like, why are you always out now? Why are you so happy? What's with all the inspiration? You know, they're going to ask you. And when they ask you, don't just tell them. Ask them why they asked. Well, I'm doing great. How are you doing? You know, what's going on in your world? Just start a conversation and see where it leads you. What questions do you guys have? Yes.
To go back to what you were talking about just now, about not saying Protandim or Life Vonage, I had mentioned it to a friend who's had breast cancer, and she researched it and read something negative and was completely put off. So when somebody asks you, well, what is the product? How long can you not answer that question? You know what I mean?
Did she ask you through Facebook?
No, it was we were having a conversation.
Okay. Honestly, when people have asked me, like in person like that, I've said to people many times before, it's Protandim. Have you ever heard of it? Because for me, most of the time, I haven't had anyone for a long time go on and find anything negative on it. I believe that if people are looking for something negative, they're going to find it, right? It's like their way out. It's their excuse. I just think we need to be bold and have posture about it. But you also could just simply say to them, how about I just send you an ABC report? I want you to see this the right way. I want you to get the right information and be able to research properly. If I send it to you, it's 10 minutes, would you watch it? And then see what they say. And if they're still adamant, well, just tell me it. Just tell them. Just tell them what it is and say, that's the name. And I'm going to send you this ABC report. When will you watch it? It's really important. I want to help you with your breast cancer. I think this could be something that could assist you with it. Because the more hesitation you have in the way that you answer it, the more you give them the ability to question you. And it takes practice. I mean, oh my goodness. In the beginning, I'd be picking up the phone, calling people and be like, you can say no. But I mean, I was horrible. It was so bad. I was so scared. And I had such a fear of what people were going to think about me that I had to roll with it and go with it and get my feelings hurt and then learn that I had to unattach from the emotion and just keep going. My newest distributor I signed up, I tell her over and over at the end of every conversation, the most important thing right now is you inviting people to look at this. The most important thing is you inviting, and continuing to add to your list. Because I don't want you to ever get to a point where your list is so short that you become so attached to every single person you share it with. I've been there. I've been to the point in this business where my posture is solid. I know what I know. I believe no one's going to say no to me because I'm so excited. And then I build this list and I go talk to people and like I have 5 people in a row say no. And I'm like, oh, this isn't fun. I thought everybody was going to say yes. But it's just, that's network marketing. That's human nature. People, not everybody's going to get it. And so that's why the longer your list is and the more you're continually adding to it, the more beneficial it is for you. And you can always start over. You can always rebuild your warm market. I've had to do that. I've had to rebuild my warm market and create new relationships. And it takes time, but it's just trusting the process. And in the process of rebuilding, I learned to be grateful for what I had. And I learned to be okay with it and not be, don't ever get so caught up in, if you're comparing yourself when you're on Facebook too much and you get jealous from the success that other people have, take a break from Facebook because it's not good for you. And I used to always think that Sean and Michelle were working like 24 hours a day. So if I was not working, I would beat myself up for not working. And then I wasn't present with the people that I was with. So work the business, but work it smart. Like if you're going to work it, just work the business in that hour, let's say, and don't allow for any distractions so that when you walk away after that hour, you're like, I gave it my all in that hour. I am happy with what I did. And you can go to bed happy with what you did because then you gave your all to your family or whatever else you did outside of that hour. Don't be so attached to this that you think you have to work it all the time. I don't work this all the time. It is always on my mind because I have a vision for my life and what I want, but that then makes me aware of the people I come in contact with when I'm out and about. Because it used to be when I first got in, you guys, anyone that said yes, I'd be like, oh, okay, come in. And now I'm more about who I want to work with. Like my current distributor that I signed, when I talked to her, she said to me, I want to talk to you about being able to do LifeVantage and then being able to do Rodan and Fields as well. And when we sat down and talked, I said, you cannot do both. I said, you just can't. If you really want, and she said she wants to have freedom. She wants to find something she can do from home. She wants to help a lot of people. And I said, if that's the case, you can't do both. You have to find one and then just be a raving customer of the other. And then we talked more and she talked about what package she wanted to do. And she talked about the lower pack. And I said, here's the other deal. I said, people are going to ask you how you started and you only get your startup story one time. So it's very important that you are true to yourself and that you do this the right way and treat it like a business. Because I said, I want you to go to this next event. If this is what you want, you have to get to that next event to grow yourself, to meet the people. And so that, because all I did was, it wasn't about convincing her. I let her make the choice. I just had an adult conversation with her and basically told her, if this is what you're telling me you want, this is what I suggest that you do. And then she made the proper decisions for her. She got the platinum pack. She's going to the next event. She's doing one business and just being a customer of the other. And she's super excited. But we have to make sure, and this comes with practice too, but tell yourself now, I know more than they do, and I am leading them. Because people get into the business because of you. They don't get in because of the product. I mean, the products have a big deal to doing it, but if you're talking to people and you're passionate and excited and you're proving to them that you want to lead them in the right direction, you're the biggest part of this. They want to join because they want to be a part of it with you. So again, that was roundabout, but know who you're looking for. You know, if you've got a great barista or a great waiter or waitress or someone at the park that just has this amazing energy, then that's what I tell them. I'm like, you've got amazing energy. I have been looking for someone like you. I've been praying for someone like you. I want to bring 5 new amazing people into my business. I'm work for a biotech company. I think you'd be amazing. Do you keep your options open to other streams of income? And when you say it like that, like, I've been looking for someone like you, people are just like, wow, like, okay. You just make them feel so good, you know, when you share a compliment like that with them. So do know what you're looking for and what you want your team to look like and feel like and talk like and act like. Yes.
So for people that are really like introverted and shy and don't even do selfies, talking to people is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So any suggestions for people that get red just talking to somebody on a computer?
Facebook.
Do it anyway, because because I get it. I totally get it. I remember, Liddell, when I was I did Amway 2 times. And I remember once being in Amway and I was going to the mall and I went in saying, I am not leaving this mall until I talk to somebody. Scared out of my mind. And I walked into a jewelry store and I'm talking to this guy. I'm on the other side of the counter and I was a hot mess. Like my body was physically shaking. I had no posture, but I left and I felt like I could have flown a plane without the engine. Like I just was so proud of myself because I did it. And just keep doing it. Because every step you take forward, it's going to get easier and easier. And people, they're going to be kind to you. They just are. And you're going to get, now when you get that yes, oh my goodness, that's going to take you to a whole new level. And be careful about what you're saying to yourself. So instead of, let this be the last time that you say, I get red when I talk to people and I'm very shy. Like, don't ever say it again. Okay? And from now on, you're going to say to yourself, you're going to stop yourself if you say it, and you're going to say, I love talking to people. I love how I feel when I talk to people. I'm good at talking to other people because I'm so kind and I have such a big heart. Like, you should write those things down. Even if you don't believe it right now, write it down and say it every single day because it matters. And if you say it enough, what happens is that positivity gets rid of the negativity. And even if the negativity is there for a little bit, that positivity will outweigh it faster. And you won't stay in that negative place as long as you had before. You can do it. Just tell yourself you can and believe it. I'm telling you, there's people out there waiting for every single one of you. And they're not going to hear about this unless you're the one that tells them. You have to believe that. Think of other people. You have to think of them and take it off yourself. You know, if there's someone you think's amazing and their posture scares the crap out of you, just say, they need to know. I got to put myself aside right now. They need to know. And tell them that. Say, this is uncomfortable for me, but you're pretty incredible. And you just really need to know what I'm doing because I think you'd be fantastic and you could help a lot of people. Just be authentic. Because the minute you try to be all like, I think you're amazing and you know, they're just going to read right through it and they're going to know you're trying to sell them something. That's what they're going to think.
So Tanya, I have the girl that I thought would be perfect for the business. She's a stay-at-home mom, also has autoimmune kind of problems. But, you know, wanted to be on the product, obviously. But I, of course, in my head was thinking perfect person. And I sent her a Facebook message. And I think I sent them the ABC. And I said, would you and your husband watch this? I invited them to the 22nd. Mm. Anyway, cut a long story short, in our communication, she said, I might take the product, but I'm not interested in the business side of it right now. I'm going to be homeschooling, whatever. And I said, great, you know, what is my next step to get her to order it from me, to be a customer? With that-
Just ask. Just if do you know if she's seen the video?
I forgot to ask her if they actually saw it.
Okay. Just follow up and just say, I know the business is not an option right now. I'm just following up to see if you watched the video. And then if she has, say, okay, great. What questions do you have, or are you ready to get started? We're too afraid too often to say, are you ready to get started? And people just need to be directed, because if they're not directed, then it's just kind of left hanging. And people are so busy today that sometimes they appreciate the directness. So yeah, first find out if she watched it. And then if she did, just say, great, what questions do you have? Or are you ready to get started?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing I really recommend you guys is when it comes to text, is when you look at a text, sometimes, yeah, so Sheila has it. There's a little microphone over here. So if I push that down and I start talking, see how it starts recording? And then I can hold that as long as I want. I could probably talk for 10 minutes and it keeps recording it. And then once I'm done, I just press that arrow right there, and then it will send it to Sheila. And then if I don't like it, there's also an X where you can not send it. You can start over. But there's nothing more powerful than people hearing your voice, especially when you're trying to invite them to something. Because especially if you're nervous, it's just important for people to hear that you're authentic, because people can take a written word, something typed, and depending on what's going on in their life, perceive it any way they want in that moment, right? But if they hear your voice and they hear, oh my gosh, Sheila, I've been thinking about you so much lately. I just said yes to something and I'm super nervous about it, but I'm really super excited. And you're someone I've looked up to for a really long time. I'm launching it next week, and I would love if you could just hop on for an hour and just support me and just check it out. That support invite goes a long, long way. Like, I lifted Sheila up. I told her why I thought of her, what I think of her, what she means to me, and then asked for her support and invited her to a meeting. If someone hears that, it affects them differently than if they read it typed out. You know what I mean? And you can do that same thing through Facebook Messenger. So Doreen, you could through Facebook Messenger, there's also a little microphone. Same thing, you hold it down and then it'll show you that it's recording. And it only lets you talk for a minute, but then you can just go again. It's just powerful for you to say, you know, I know the business isn't for you right now. It's just good for them to hear your tonality. So I use that as much as you can. Use a voice messaging as much as you can.
Can you kind of review what you just said about the support request?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, hon. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
She's asking if you can say again about the support request.
Oh, yeah. What did I say?
So first you said you built people up, and you kind of did that in a way that you said, I really have always respected you. I've always really thought highly of you, like that type of thing.
Yeah, I just recently said yes to something. I'm really excited about it. I'm launching it, you know, next Tuesday, and I would love to have your support and see if you would just jump on and support me through it for my first time.
What are you actually launching now?
What?
What are you actually launching?
So it would be a launch then for, let's say, it would be a Zoom. So it's a Zoom presentation, but specifically for you. So for instance, I'm doing one next Tuesday for my new distributor, and it's just for her. So it's just for her friends. And what it does is it makes it more intimate. So she then will open it by sharing her story and why she said yes and why she's excited. And then I'll do the full presentation, but through it, you know, I can kind of mention her name or maybe say something again about her story. And then at the end, we can open it up for discussion if we want to, because it's just for her rather than like a big one like tonight where it's open to everybody. So it really does. It launches your business. And if any of you at any time want to do that, just let me know. Myself or Rich, I mean, we could totally do that for you guys, where it's just personalized just to you, and it's just you and your friends. And again, that support, that's how my distributor had people on tonight. She used that support invite. You know, and telling people, it's not for everybody. You know, I know, and what does Jim Rohn say? He says, I'm expecting 7 out of 10 people to say no. Just be a no for me. Just show up for me and be a no.
Get those 7 out of the way.
Yeah, get the 7 out of the way. Yeah, kind of takes the load off other people too.
It's like when Rich was saying, if somebody says they're not really interested or whatever, then you can say, well, okay, I understand that you're not really interested, and I get that, but could you do me a favor and just let me practice on you, and you can give me some pointers.
Yep.
And that way they're still seeing it, and they might just see something that they like.
Yep. Absolutely, for sure.
They're not interested.
Right, totally. So yeah, with the social media thing, I really would just say to you, make the time for that, because it's kind of just become a part of the business structure today. And it's very effective, you know, when you're authentic, when you're true to who you are. Don't try to be who you're not, and don't discount what you're learning, because what you're learning is what other people need to hear, whether it's the smallest of things or the biggest of things. And like I said, even if this gal that gave me this schedule, she told me, go to Pinterest and type in your interests or things that inspire you. And she said, just look for quotes and look for pictures that you like. There are also apps, if you ever want to know those. Every once in a while, I'll find like a quote that I like, and I'll want to make my own. And the app that I use, I believe it's free. It's called Word Swag. Word, S-W-A-G, Word Swag. And it's really easy to use. And basically just what it does is you can put in where you're going to post it. So let's say you pick Facebook post, and then so it formats it correctly. And then you can choose any background. You choose your background, and then you just type in the same. And then from there, you can do some fancy things too that you can just kind of play with. It gives you different font that you can choose, and you can have a lot of fun with that. But that's the one that I first started with, and I still use quite a bit. And you can take pictures from your own camera roll for it too, but yeah, it's fun. But yeah, just keep it in rotation. Keep in rotation like stories, health, maybe something you learned about health, or something you heard on, you know, a Zoom about omegas or about gut health, something like that. Just showing people that you are looking to be healthier, that that's your lifestyle, and that you're gaining knowledge in that area, so that as they're watching you and seeing all those things, they give you enough respect to know that, hey, they know what they're talking about. They've got a consistency here going. But again, don't get wrapped up in the comments and the likes and the loves and all that stuff. Do not be unattached from the results of your post. There's some I put up and I get like 3 likes. Oh well, it is what it is. But every time there's a picture of me or something like that, or a picture of my family or my daughter, school, oh my gosh, people come out of the woodwork. And what it shows you is just how many people are paying attention and are watching you. Just really allows you to affect people in a bigger way than you could in person.
So what about things like when people say, I don't feel anything? You know, how do you respond to that type of thing too?
Yeah, I would just say to them, your cells are getting cleaned up. And this is the best analogy I heard too, that your cells are getting cleaned. And think of if you had a rusty old pipe and the pipe was corroded and you started putting water through it, the water's not going to come out clean on the other side. It's going to be rusty and old. It's going to take a little bit for the pipe to get cleaned up before the water comes out true on the other side. Sometimes it's the same with this. Sometimes our body takes a little bit to go through that cleaning process, and they need to give it time. And even when they're not feeling anything, they have to understand. I think it's also really setting the expectations from the beginning. If anyone ever says to me, I'll give it a try for like 30 days, I'm like, no, don't bother. This isn't a 30-day quick fix thing. This is a lifestyle, and this is something I want you to give at least 90 days. And if you're not going to do that, don't bother. And then they do. They give it that 90 days. It's again, really being honest with them, like having that adult conversation and not being afraid and not thinking of it as, I need this customer, I need this sale. Just thinking of it as like, they need to know what I know. Like, this is an investment in your body. This is just something that no one else has, and you want to take care of yourself now. Don't wait till you're sick.
And you want them to need you, not you need them.
Right. Yep. And it does, again, it comes down to just really remembering to ask as many questions as you can about them. Because if someone were to say, well, yeah, I'm not feeling anything, saying, look, you told me you're dealing with this, this, and this. How important is it to you to get better? And hopefully they're going to say, well, it's important to me. Then give this more time. Your body needs it and you deserve it.
Well, chances are they didn't get to where they are overnight either.
Right.
If somebody's got a condition, it didn't happen in 30 days. It happened over their lifetime.
Yeah. And you know, in the end too, there's just some people that are just going to be negative about it, and they don't want to listen. They're not going to hear you, and they're just going to stop it anyway. But there's nothing we can do about that. If everybody said yes, then everybody would be doing this. It'd be a lot easier.
Well, and you don't really want a negative person as a representative anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to let that go, but
yeah.
That's kind of the truth.
Yeah. And you're going to have those people too that, you know, tell you no, whether it's to the business or the product. And the sooner you can just say, okay, I really just give them grace and just, I appreciate you taking the time, and then let it go. They're going to continue to watch you. And then maybe they'll see the stories that you post, or they'll see your travels, or whatever they're going to see, and they'll keep watching. And then more than likely there'll come another point where they come back and ask. That happens all the time to people, where people they've said no, and then they come back and they're like, okay, I was wrong. Or tell me more. What didn't I know before?
Yeah, because you also hear a lot but it's expensive. Why is it so expensive? My mother-in-law told her physician, and the physician said, but why is it so expensive?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How about a copay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same as a copay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the copay, not what you're going to get, you know, some thing they're going to put you on, or
Exactly.
the follow-up, or the specialist, or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes with things like that, it's just, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way. This is something that's changed a lot of lives, and studies have been done by the American Heart Association, the MS Journal of Medicine. It could be so much more for what it does and the way that it's been studied. $40 has been quite a gift to thousands and thousands of people. So I'm really sorry that you feel that way. Just kind of let it go. Because that same person that says it's expensive is probably the same person that spends $40 a month on a Starbucks or something, you know?
yeah.
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 So what's the best way to do kind of like a cold contact, I guess you could say, for somebody that you don't really know? But I mean, other than, like you were saying before, if they put off the real positive energy, well, then there's your end, you know, I mean, as far as working from that. But if it's somebody that you just don't really know that much about, but you think they would really benefit from the products. Not necessarily always a business side of it, but just you'd really like to see them on the products because it would help them out.
Mm-hmm. I would tell them what you just said.
Okay.
Here's my experience with cold markets. When I moved to Idaho, that was all I did, is I just got out and I prospected a lot. I would walk into, like I walked into a vet clinic. I looked for pet people for a while. I went to a furniture store. I didn't need furniture. I was just kind of like, honestly, if I'm honest, I was judging books by its cover, like who is smiling, who is helping people, what was their name. And I got distributors that way. I got people on my business. Whether I got to talk to them in person or I would call back to the store and ask for them and then just compliment them. And I told them, I'm new to the area and I'm looking to expand, a business in this area, and I'm looking for people like you. Do you keep your options open? And then I set up a meeting to just present to them, to show them the ABC report and present to them. But because I didn't have relationships beforehand, none of them are still doing the business. A couple of them are still customers. They're still on the products, but none of them are working the business. So if it's a cold contact that you'll frequent often and see often, work on establishing a relationship. Just get to know them and build trust and build respect. If it's somebody that is a once chance encounter and you don't think you'll see them again, then just take that chance and just say that. Just say, look, I don't know if I'll ever see you again. This is maybe a chance encounter, but you are amazing. Like, you exemplify everything that I look to have on my team. I'm expanding something in this area, and I would love to share with you what we're doing. Do you keep your options open to making extra streams of income? I don't say, do you keep your options open to other opportunities? Because that's kind of that tagline now that people associate with network marketing. I just say to other streams of income. And then just see if they're open. And if they ask me what it is, say it's a great way to make residual income. It's a biohacking company. We're first to market with some products, or it's a biohack. I would just say it's a biohacking company, first of its kind. It may not be for you, it may, but I've got a video I could send you and you could take a look and see if it fits. Just keep it short and sweet. Don't give away too much in that first encounter. You just want to keep it very short and sweet. It's a biohacking company. It may or may not be for you, but I've got something I could send you to see if it intrigues you. And really do your best. Do not send the ABC report unless you've set up a time to when they can watch it. Let people know that you're treating this like a business. Let them know that you take it seriously. So if someone says, yes, they'll watch it, say, okay, I'm really glad that you're going to watch it. When would you have the time? This is important to me, so I don't want to send this to you until you have the time, because I don't want to bother you, and I want to respect my time and your time. So would Thursday night work? Would tomorrow night work? And if they say yes, say, okay, tomorrow night, about 30 minutes beforehand, I'll just touch base with you and see if it still works. And if it does, great. Because after they've watched it, you want to be able to get in contact with them right away to answer their questions or find out if they want to see more or talk to someone.
So get the time and then don't send it until
Right.
time comes around. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Because I've done that in the past I've done that in the past where I've just sent it to people. They're like, well, just send it to me, I'll watch it. And then I'm like, have you watched it? Have you watched it? Have you watched? And then they're just busy. They don't have a sense of urgency because they don't know what we know. They don't know what's in that video. So think of your own time. I've done that to plenty of people. They send me something they want me to look at, and I'm like, I never get to it. So schedule it with them. And don't send it until they say they have the time. And that may be quite a while. And every once in a while, I'll just have fun with it. Like, especially through Facebook Messenger, when you can see if they've looked at something. I've sent messages to people, not the video, but sent messages. And I know that they saw it, but they haven't responded. And if I know them well, like in one instance, I sent her a voice message. And I'm like, I know you saw my message, Blondie. Like, what are you doing? Don't hide from me. Just tell me yes or no, are you interested in checking this out? And she got right back to me and she was just laughing. She's like, I promise I wasn't ignoring you. She's like, I've just been super busy. And even tonight it happened. I had a gal that I met with from church about a week ago. And she's in another network marketing company, but she's got health issues. She really needs to get under control. And so I told her, I'm like, Ashley, I'm going to put you on our customer page and tag you on some stories. I really would love to help you with this. And I checked in with her tonight because I checked with her a couple days later and I didn't get anything back. And it's so easy to create your own movie and be like, oh no, I offended her. Oh no, relationship ruined. Oh no, we go to church together. What's this going to do? And then tonight she reached out to me again about something for church. And so I'm like, hey, by the way, since I have you, and cause I didn't get back to her, I'm like, did you have a chance to look at anything? I've been thinking about you. And she was like, I'm so sorry. She goes, I haven't looked at anything. She goes, I've just been so busy with school coming to an end. I'll look at it really soon. I promise. And so do not create your own movie. You're not a producer. You're not a director. Like, shut it down because people are just busy. They really are. Don't be afraid to touch base again and just give them that grace and say, I know life gets busy. I'm not going to make this long. Just want to see if you were able to look at it yet because I haven't heard back from you. And if you do it through a voice thing, nobody's not going to listen to that. Like, people can read something and then put their phone down and forget to get to it. But no one doesn't listen. Everyone listens to the little zzz that's their voice recording. So use that as much as possible. They'll get back to you 50 times faster than they would if you typed it.
Well, because they have to listen to it to know.
Yeah. Yep. And you know when they listen to it because it goes away on your end. Mm-hmm. You're like, ha! I know you heard me.
My daughter before, I was like, I know you saw it. It says, yeah. And now it's 16.
Mm-hmm. I know both my daughters have like that read receipt on theirs, and I'm not going to tell them that I can see that. I'm not going to tell them to get rid of that.
There is no settings button. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, you can't take that away. It's just there.
I have a couple of questions. Can you hear me?
A little bit. I don't know why it's so hard to hear you, Shante.
I don't either.
Okay, now I can.
Okay. So a couple questions. So I actually spoke with somebody about the product. And then she was like, oh yeah, great. And then looked at it on eBay and bought it from there.
Oh.
So that was a really big bummer to me. And then I'm like, uh-oh, I'm not sure that that's legit product. You know, you have to be careful. So if you have a bad experience from it, please don't hold that toward this, you know, toward LifeVantage, you know, but she just kind of like went rogue on it. So, you know, is it real product? Or put it
Not always. No, it was probably just about a month ago. We had someone do that same thing, whether it was eBay or Amazon, and the person got the product and it was like a completely different color. And then I've heard of people getting sick before as well. And when it does happen, first of all, setting the expectation from the beginning and directing people and saying, when you're ready to go, let me know so I can ensure that you get the wholesale price and get the product the right way. I always tell people that just to prevent that from happening. When you're ready to go, let me know so you can get the product at wholesale and get it the right way. If you do find out that they get it from Amazon or eBay, really come at them like, no, you didn't. Will you please send me who you got that from? Because first of all, that's not compliant. And second of all, people have gotten sick from that happening. Like, kind of scare them from ever doing it again. And then if you get that information, you send that to compliance because they are doing their best that they can to stay on top of those people and take away the distributorships of people that are doing that because it's not compliant.
Yeah, because she bought it for like, I don't know, $28 or something like that.
Yeah. And the thing with eBay and Amazon, oh, go ahead.
I don't understand how they can sell it for less than we can buy it for.
I know. I don't either. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of is if they got a big, the distributor pack and sold it.
Yep.
More than that, so you're still making money, but.
Right. And I've had in my history too, where all of a sudden in my back office, there shows up like a random name, and it's usually like a foreign name, and then they've ordered like $1,000 worth of product. And so I think sometimes people are doing that, and then, I don't know, finding ways to sell it in odd ways. And the company at one point had it off Amazon, and they always work to maintain that. But eBay and Amazon are for the seller. And so it's just harder to get through those loopholes sometimes. And at the same point too, you can find any product in network marketing on either channel. It's just unfortunately the way it is. People will always do it. They just will. We just have to scare them enough to make sure they never do it again.
Yeah. So actually another question just came up. So if you start with a distributor pack, okay, so platinum, for example, can you ever buy another
platinum pack?
Yeah.
No, you'd have to buy the product individually, because the only way you can get another distributorship or like another distributor number is by opening another business center. And you can only open different business centers based on the level you're at as you grow. Sorry, we have a guest here.
Okay, so you can't just like, okay, it's like I have, like I don't have a credit card. And I think that you really want to be.
I can't hear you again, hon. I don't know if you're in like a.
No, this is yelling. Am I not yelling? I feel like I'm yelling.
Oh, now I can hear you good. I don't know if you're like, I don't know.
I don't know. What was I saying? Okay, so I have people that don't, want to deal with credit cards, setting up of accounts. They're kind of like worried about stuff like that. So, want to buy it from me. So that's why I was kind of like asking if you can just get another pack, but it sounds like no, you can't, because obviously it's a discounted rate and you can't keep doing that forever.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's the thing. In talking with Rich, he said, we'll charge them not the wholesale, price, charge them the full price. So it's a deterrent, but it's hard for me to do that when it's my in-laws.
Yeah.
My in-law too.
Yeah. What's up with that? Okay.
She's terrified of going online and having her stuff stolen.
It's going to get stolen and all that. So then, so two other things. One of them is, because I'm pretty wary of doing things on Facebook because I don't want to do it wrong. Okay, so I get, don't put Protandim, don't put LifeVantage, it's okay to put the little yellow pill, stuff like that. Don't say the Vitality Stack because we want to create curiosity. It's not because it feels like we want to, sidestep that we don't feel good about this or something feels weird about it, right?
Right.
So with some of the posts that are on the group pages, do any of those ever get shared if they don't have that? I mean, and maybe not shared, but copied and posted?
Yeah. I have taken those stories before from the customer page, copied them into my notes, and then edit it. First of all, I always ask the person. I'll message them and say, like I asked Liddell, is it okay if I share your story? And I always let them know I'm not going to put your name in it. And sometimes people are still uncomfortable with it, but I always ask first. And then I don't put their name in it, and then I just edit it accordingly. Like I'll take out any claims or any product names that maybe they put in there. And if you are still questioning that, feel free to kind of look through my feed and just look at the way that I've posted them in the past. And you could use those. Just like start with those. Just use mine. I don't do them consistently enough so that, I would just say start there.
Okay. And so then my last question, so I think when I first started to hear about the product, the ABC video is about the Nerf 2, you know, and then so there, you know, when people want to get started, it's kind of like, okay, I can't do all of that. I'm not going to do the Vitality Stack. I'm not prepared to spend $150 a month, you know, but I'm having sleep issues, or I'm having anxiety, or I'm having headaches. You know, so it's kind of like, I'm having a little bit of a difficult time choosing, like, wow, Axio would be great for you, or, oh, Nerf 1 is all, you know. So is there like a database or some sort of resource that would be helpful? Like, this would be the good starting point. Like that.
That would be nice. Yeah, I think it is about what they're dealing with, for sure. And then when it comes down to it, no matter what, Protandim Nerf 2 should be the foundation for everyone. Like, that should be their starting point, because that's where we started, and it has helped people in a lot of ways with many different issues. I think next to that would be the probiotic for their gut. I think those two are the most important because gut health is just so vital. And then I would say omega, and then the mitochondria.
Okay, actually that's an interesting sort of series. Okay, so not Nerf 1 first or second. It's more like
I would do the gut. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what if headaches are your biggest thing? Or no, sleep. Because I think I actually messaged you about that at one point. Like, if somebody's going to start with one thing and sleep is their issue,
I would do Protandim.
you would do two.
Yep, absolutely. Protandim Nerf 2.
Because Nerf 1 is not patented like Nerf 2, correct?
Correct. Not yet, I don't think. There may be one in motion, though. And, you know, with the Nerf 1, though, as well, like mitochondrial dysfunction, like there's now doctors saying that cancer is all about mitochondrial dysfunction. So I think as well, it's about really looking at what are they dealing with and what are they lacking, and then maybe kind of going from there. Because yeah, the Nerf 1 and Nerf 2 do pack a punch. I just know that so many people with that Nerf, well, I have a customer right now that she had a very toxic body. She had breast implants and her body just rejected them and made her very, very toxic. And she said the Nerf 1 was a complete game changer for her. But that's not for everybody, right? So I just think the most important product they can have for sure is Protandim Nerf 2. If they have to start somewhere, start there.
Okay. And then you know that I have a customer that's in Idaho. And
did you freeze or did I? Oh, okay. Did I freeze?
I don't know. You seem to be talking to me. So I have a customer that's in Idaho.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, and she's a social worker background, but she's actually kind of like got nutritional counseling type of leaning. I think that's where she's headed. And she and her husband are both entrepreneur type people. And she just kind of saw some of the stuff that I was posting about True Science, you know, or like, oh, my skin's great, you know. So she wanted to get in on that. But they're both have Vitality Stacks, and she's doing True Science. Wow. And they're going to be using Axio. So I'm like, hey, you know, I've been trying to say, with the size of your order, you could actually save some money by getting this distributor pack, you know, but I think that they're interested in doing it. But is there like an opportunity, meaning that they can do there?
Yeah, so I would ask them, if you haven't already, just saying, you know, based on what you're ordering, based on how much you love the product, I know you guys are entrepreneurs, would you ever be open to meeting with one of my business partners that lives in the area and just kind of getting the business side of it and see if it might be a good fit for you guys? And then I could just meet with them for coffee and talk to them.
I think that they are interested.
Okay. Yeah.
Like an opportunity video. But I think it's kind of like trying to weigh it out about like when is a good time or whatever. But I think it would be great if they could connect with you.
Yeah, even if they'd be comfortable, you know, like me just coming to their home and talking to them about it, and then we could Zoom you in so you could be a part of it as well and listen. I think that would be ideal.
Yeah. that
It'd
would-
be tough to Zoom with you, like if we met at a coffee shop or something, because it'd just be so noisy. But if they were okay with like coming to my house or me going to their house, and then so we could make you a part of that, I think that would be ideal.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been taking it for, I don't know, I don't even know if it's been quite a month, but, you know, her
Wow.
husband's kind of like, hey, this is really working. I feel super great. And she's noticing a difference with her skin and stuff like that. She's got some other issues that she's experiencing some benefit from. So I think, you know, it'd be really great if they could meet with you.
Yeah, I would love it. Just let me know. Absolutely.
Great. They're in Meridian, I think?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay.
What's her name? Wouldn't it be crazy if I knew him?
Like I think they've only moved there like in the last maybe year and a half. She used to work with me here in Eugene,
Okay.
but her name is Isabel Meyer. Actually, no, she has a different last name. It's her husband.
I think we're the same.
That would be crazy. That would be really funny. Isabel. Her last name is Favor. Fauvor. And her husband's name is Rick Favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isabel, she's great.
Yeah, I'm more than open to meeting with them. So just let me know.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So those are the questions I was holding.
Perfect. Anybody else?
I've heard people talk about three-way calls, and I haven't got a clue how to do it. I mean, it sounds like a great thing, but how do you go about doing that?
So third-party validation is basically just giving the person you're talking to someone else's viewpoint. So it's just like if you put somebody in connection with like an opportunity presentation, that's your third-party validation. But here's an example, like through a phone. I'm going to call you Sheila.
Yay.
So, okay, so when I call Sheila, what's going to happen is on your screen, you're going to have 6 buttons show up, right? But here's what I do to set it up. So I'm talking to Sheila. Sheila's seen the ABC report and she's interested. So I tell Sheila, look, I'm still pretty new to this, but even so, I really want to make sure that you not only get your questions answered, but you get to hear from someone other than me so you understand how important this really is. So I'm going to bring on my friend Tanya, and she's going to help me answer all your questions. So hold on. I don't say, are you okay with, or do you mind? I just say, I'm going to bring her on. And then for friends that have done the business with me, I've said, look, you've heard from me, but if you're going to do the business, I want you to see how easy this is. So I'm going to bring on my friend Nikki, and she's going to answer your questions so that you can see you don't have to do this by yourself. Like I just tell them straight up why I'm bringing the person on. So when I call Sheila, oh, I'm messaging you. I don't want to do that.
You just want to tell the person you're going to call them a little bit ahead of time, though, right? Like say I'm going to do
Yes,
at such and
absolutely.
such time. Would you be available?
Yep.
Am I answering?
Yes, answer. Okay, so see on my phone, on the bottom, oh, see that plus sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I hit that, what it's saying is add call. So what I'm going to do, and now it brings up my contacts. So now I'm going to bring in, who do I want to bring in? I'm going to bring in my daughter because she's right in front of me and I know she won't answer.
Call me, I can talk to you.
So now I'm calling Lainey. Oh, but you won't answer. But see in the bottom here, that plus button turns into merge call. So once Lainey answers, I click that same button again, and then I get them both on the call. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's the same button. So on your screen it says first add call, and then you can either type in the number or find them in your contacts. Once you find them in your contacts, you just click their phone number, and then once they answer, that same button turns into merge call, and then you have all three. Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
What about Facebook Live? You guys know how to do that?
Not really. I don't know
Like,
how. but-
I don't, like when I'm on Facebook, I don't see a button that says Facebook Live.
Here,
Live
it's right
video.
here. Live.
Let's see.
That's too easy.
Did you find it? Yeah, it's like a little red camera right there. It says live video.
There you go.
Lorraine, look at the.
Sorry.
Yeah, but she's on this other version.
Android version.
She's got an Android
Is
version.
it different, or is that just Facebook's thing?
No, it looks different.
Oh, does it?
It does look different.
You Android.
It's that other thing.
You're still Android. It's causing too many problems.
Am I really the only one? with Android?
Well, of the people that are here.
No, I do not.
No, we have iPhones. Sorry.
See, mine's right there.
It is different.
Does, if you're live video, can you like say, whoops, I don't really want that one? Can you change your mind?
No, I think if it's live, right?
Okay, say again.
If you're doing a live video, you don't really have a chance to edit it. It is what it is, right?
Here's what it is. Well, when you're done, okay, as you're live, people can watch you, but
Right.
when you're done with the live, it gives you the option to delete or post it. So you could then delete it, but while you're live, people can watch you either way.
So for the 8 million people that are on exactly the same time, it just is what it is.
Yes. You know, a really great place to practice, you guys, would be the Team Vision page or Team Act.
Okay.
Like I went to a training, we went to a Life Vantage Academy like 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but while we were at lunch, there were a lot of people at the table that were uncomfortable with lives. I'm like, let's do one right now. We'll just do it on the team page, and we'll just pass my phone around and just say something, just say your biggest takeaway. And then everybody got on. And some people couldn't even look at the camera, which is okay, but they did it. They did it. So.
And they survived.
And they survived. They lived. They lived to tell another day. Yeah, I still get uncomfortable. Like my heart still pounds, and when I do it, I'm sweating, but you know, it just.
I don't believe it.
No, I'm not kidding. Totally. Like when I did that one last week with Amber, we both got off and I'm like, I'm sweating. She's like, so am I. Yeah, but you got to start somewhere, right? And two, when it comes to the lives, it doesn't always just have to be you. You could go live and just like do a show where you're at, be on a walk. I did plenty when I first started where something randomly came to me, or because of something I was listening, I just stopped and was really passionate about something in that moment and did a live. Or something of your kids, or you're at a concert. Like that could be your first live. It's something else and not just you.
But it has to be you sometimes. I don't know who they're watching. That means you have to have a picture of you on there.
Great.
Baby steps. It's okay. Baby steps.
So I was listening to that thing that you sent me. Don't put me out there.
Out there.
No, don't do that. You're beautiful. Move your hand.
Okay. So you sent that thing that I was supposed to watch. Now I'm sweating.
For social media.
Saying something about on your Facebook that the picture, your profile picture, should be a picture of you.
Yeah.
And the, what is it called? The background or the
Your cover photo.
Cover photo. It should be of something, either an inspirational saying or something like that. It shouldn't be of, the dog eating something.
Right.
Something like that. Anyways, what would be your suggestion for that? Because I always usually just put like either a picture of the family or like landscape type stuff.
Then I would do that. If I have a picture of my family on it, if it's something that you love and speaks to who you are, put that on there. But it is really important that your profile picture is a picture of just you, because for one, the profile picture you use on Facebook, make that the same photo that you download to your LifeVantage website. You want that consistency so they know that it's you if they go to order or if they're looking for you. And another way to make sure is when you download a cover photo, make sure that you have someone else go check out your page to see if it looks proper on there. So that app that I told you about, WordSwag, you can go to that app and you can select the option to, let me do this here, where you can go to your camera roll and you can select a photo, and then you can choose, there's an option on there to have a Facebook cover photo. So what it'll do is, see how it showed, so it's like a rectangle. So what it'll do is it'll format the picture properly. So if I choose a photo of my family, and then I choose the option of Facebook cover photo, then I can move it and position it so that when it shows up on Facebook, it looks right. And it's not just their stomachs.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I've
Yeah.
cut off the head before.
Yes. Yeah. So find an app like that to where you can format it properly so it shows up correctly.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Good question. Good seeing ya.
Okay, so I have my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Facebook page. Is people create a separate Facebook page for this, a business page or something?
Don't do that. People do it, but I think people do it too soon. Just use your personal page, because that's what people go to and that's what they look at. People that will go to your business page, they just know that it's for business, and I don't think they'll really see things the same way as they would if you put it on your personal page.
Yeah.
But don't worry about another page. Just keep it personal.
That's not going to tell everybody to like this other page or join it or whatever the heck, and they might not,
Right.
and I've got 1,000 people on my Facebook, but I don't.
Yeah, keep it there. Just keep it there.
Okay.
And so, there are some people that have been in the industry for years and they've got the platform for it, right? And they're doing just social media stuff, then that's fine. But yeah, don't even worry about that. Just keep one page.
So, Tanya, when we joined up, we did everything just under my name.
Okay.
And so I have, my number, my business number. Can Liddell get the LifeVantage app on her phone just using my number? Or you can put it on multiple devices, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Because if she logs in with your ID and password, she's good. So
Okay.
do you guys have any distributors yet?
We don't have any distributors. We've got a customer, and then we've got a bunch of fence riders.
I would consider this, because this is one thing that Sean wishes they would have done. Think about signing Liddell up.
Right.
And so, Sheila, did you enroll them?
Actually, Patty did.
Patty? Okay. So if you sign up Liddell under you, you can then build under Liddell.
Right.
And what happens is it makes your position like an asset. And so with your position, with Liddell's position, you're going to get paid 5% on everything that comes through, because she'd be on the second level. And then you would just keep your position active by placing an order maybe once every 6 months. Or, you could keep it active with 200 PV and put some customers under there. But
We go through 3 times that.
what?
Personally, we go through almost 3 times that, so it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, see? And because that asset, what it can do is as LifeVantage grows, sometimes there are people that want to come into a network marketing business and they want to buy a position.
Right.
So you would have that asset that maybe someone could come in and buy because you've already have an established leg under Liddell, and now they just need to go build outside her leg. But if you ever did that, you can't enroll your spouse. Patty would have to enroll Liddell and place her under you. And then when Patty gets that starting bonus, she would give that to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It said something kind of like that, and that's why we didn't put Liddell's name on everything. We just did it online.
Good.
It's an option,
Yes.
and you don't have to do it, but it's an option versus if we put her name on everything from the beginning, then it wasn't really an option anymore.
Correct. Mhm.
And
I have
you
a
just let us
question.
down. Yeah.
Sorry. I have another question then. So if then I was put in underneath of Brent as that would just be a level under, right?
Yep.
And then so I could sign up, say, as another platinum pack,
Right.
and then we would get all that product again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And
Thank
then
you.
Patty will get that $400. She gives that back to you, but she has to be the one that enrolls you. So she'll enroll under her ID, but place you under Brent.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can't sign Liddell up.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
So what about your children? If your adult child wants to be a distributor, is it the same thing? Do I have to have Sheila sign him up?
Nope, you could sign up your child.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just spouses. That plays weird.
Okay. What?
I know, right? It's just,
Let's use my example. Sheila signed me up.
yes,
I have a husband.
yes,
Okay, so he can't be my customer,
no,
but he could be a distributor under me.
yes.
If Sheila places him under you, he would have to sign up. Sheila would have to sign him up and then move him to be like one of your legs.
And
Okay.
then going forward, everyone that you bring in, customers and distributors, you would put under your husband. You could also, Fred Graves, they're building 2 businesses. Some people build under a husband and wife. They build both. You could earn 2 Jeeps, that it's up to you. But by having that spouse sign up under you and building under them, you get the 2 checks, but you also, again, can build an asset. So your position just becomes basically a position that has one strong leg growing under it. And then that position can look attractive to outside people that don't want to come in and start from scratch. They want to come in with a business that's already established with a strong foundation and then just build outside of that. Like you could sell that spot to someone.
Is that the only reason why you would do it? Is because you're calling it an asset. So that would be the only reason. So
The other reason would be to grow 2 businesses, to double your fun, double your work. It's up to you.
Girls do that? Don't they have like 3 business centers?
Who? Yeah. Yeah, and now you can have 4. Yeah. But don't worry about the business centers. I did not understand that until I think I was able to get my second business center. It's very complicated. Just know that another business center allows you to have another distributor number without having to buy a distributor pack again. Like the company basically gives it to you. So you get a second distributor ID number, and then you can put people in that business center, and it becomes like another level in your business. So yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you. It gets too confusing.
That's just because once you get high enough, you got to have a third leg, basically, right? I mean,
Yeah, well,
do it.
yeah, you do. You want to build wide for sure, because you have to have that balance as you grow to get paid for the rank, for sure.
So I guess if that were to be the case, if I were to, okay, Sheila signs Rich up, moves him to me, okay? And you're saying build under him, what happens with me? Like, I don't get customers, we want to do that under him?
Yeah, I would put him under him. Yeah.
Anything new from the time he signs up.
Because then it all goes
After
up to
that,
you.
you're still going to get a portion of all of that, because it'd be just like if anybody else signed up under you.
Right.
So you
But
get
is it
residual?
weird?
You would get a bigger residual, right? Because you're getting the 5 and 9% rather than the 2%.
Correct.
Why do you get 5 and 9?
I'll show you.
It's the different levels.
Yeah.
Confusing.
It is. I know. I didn't understand the comp plan for the longest time. I was just like, I'm not going to focus on the numbers. I'm just going to focus on the people, and the rest will come to me as I go. You understand it more when you go through it. You just do.
So the thing you said earlier that I didn't know is to keep one of those business centers active, you have to make a $40 purchase every 6 months. Is that all?
Correct.
That's all you have to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That keeps it active.
Okay.
How do you?
Yeah.
When you Pro 7, you get a business center?
So it's, I believe, Pro 4. No, they've changed it. I want to say Pro 4. You get another one?
No, because I'm a Pro 4 and I don't have another one.
You don't. Okay. I don't remember what levels it's at that you get them, but you can have up to 4 other business centers now. I'll check on that, Sheila. Yeah, because we need to figure that out for you.
So I have another question. So when you have a customer that stops with their subscription, and then they're like, I want to close my account. At some point, if they don't order anything, that their account will close due to inactivity. Do you know what that time frame is? Like, after how long?
6 months?
I think it might be 6 months. I don't know for certain, but I want to say 6 months.
Yeah, because at some point, I just want it to, like, not be in my
Go
face.
away.
Yeah.
I know.
I had some-
Wait that out.
I have someone that wants to cancel, it's not even on the month, and doesn't feel anything, and so she wants to cancel, and she tried to cancel, and she couldn't, and she's all irritated. So what is the proper procedure, and why is that something that's difficult if someone wants to cancel their subscription?
Did she call in?
I think I told her to call in, but when she tried to do it on the website, it wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
So you have to call? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Can you do it by text? Can you do it by text?
I don't know. I think if they are the person directly that's doing it, maybe there's a chance. I'm not sure. I think just calling, though, is the safest bet.
Well, if they're adamant that they don't want the product, then they should be willing to make a phone call.
Right, for sure.
I mean, otherwise I'm assuming that if they don't want to call, it's because they don't want to talk to somebody. They might get talked into it. It's like, well, if you're that against it, I mean, what are you worried about? You might actually not want to quit.
Yeah, and I've never heard of anyone in customer service trying to reverse it. You know what I mean? Trying to convince them.
Sure.
From my experience and what I've heard, they're just take care of it for them.
Well, you want them to be happy.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, I think you can do it through text.
You can.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
who wants to close his account. He tried to go online but wasn't able to. What's the process? Either he or his direct enroller can contact us to cancel his monthly subscription.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
That's awesome. There
Yeah.
you go.
Is the key. You have to text. Text is the best way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's quicker, right? Yeah.
It's great.
Sheila, I'll get this recording to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell us all this
See
stuff.
you. Have a great night. Thank you for
Yes, you guys too. Have a good evening. Bye.